Today we're at Lochhouses Farm in East Lothian with Robert Dale on a kind of mainly arable farm, and we're walking around talking about whole farm planning.
I'm growing wheat and barley myself, but I let a lot of land out for turf production and various vegetable crops and potatoes. In addition to this, we have a leisure side because we go right down to the beach with lovely sand dunes, which is called Harvest Moon Holidays, and that's for short break holidays and weddings.
We've got a programme running with Soil Association Scotland called Planning for Change, and it lasts for a year and a half until next spring, looking at whole farm plans, the elements, the breakdown of what that involves, what that looks like on the ground, what people need to do, and then also once you've collected data for your audits, what you can do with that data to sort of inform your decision making, maybe change practices, make your farm a bit more resilient. The idea behind whole farm planning is to look at multiple areas across a farm business and take baseline data of where things are at just now, with the idea that then these audits are done either every year or every 5 years to get then a picture over time of how sustainable and how much emissions is coming out of a farm, and to then inform decision making and potentially changes in practice.
Gathering all this data on farms is really key to lowering our carbon footprint when it comes to food production, and that's why it's really great to get a whole load of farmers in the room talking about whole farm plans and how this applies to their business.
Whole farm plans are coming in as a requirement for the basic payment scheme from the 15th of May 2025.
We're using the whole farm planning approach to reduce inputs where we can, both of fertilisers and chemicals, hopefully also still maintaining our yields by having better quality soils and also improving our biodiversity and the wildlife on the farm. Yeah, doing the whole farm plan has made me think more about minimising cultivation so as we save fuel, and also trying to reduce the amount of artificial fertiliser we're using.
I think the whole farm plan is a great tool for the agricultural industry to prove to the wider public the benefit that agriculture can provide for the ecological value that's in the industry. The carbon audit has a degree of use. It's not perfect because some of the figures that come back weren't necessarily fully relevant for our own business, but the habitat map that's created with the biodiversity audit has been very useful, as is the animal health plan that's already had because we're farm assured and also are certified organic, so we have that in place already.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because I get a sense that there's information everywhere. On the web pages are all over the place. It's just sort of where to start. And this is what I find really useful today, is that what is the big picture? What's it actually trying to achieve? Because that hadn't come across to me before.
Whole farm plans, when implemented across the 5 areas, can have a benefit for a farm business or a croft business through taking that baseline data and using the mindset that you can't manage what you can't measure, and taking that approach on a national scale means that everybody's going to have the same baseline of data that they can then use in their decision making or their practices that could be useful if you haven't had that approach before.